Oh no. That's one destroyed train. Oh boy, this is some accident we got on our hands. Do you know what caused the derailment? No, as you can see, the investigation is still underway. The current working theory is that the front car was derailed due to a fallen rock on the track. The rest followed suit. My apologies, but I'm going to have to insist that any members of the media leave the accident site. We need to focus on beginning the cleanup and repair efforts immediately. Seriously? But Commander Bayels, I understand that the police would like to prioritize the investigation. However, this is the Transcontinental Railroad we're standing on, the most important transit line in all of Zemuria. We're under pressure from Mayor Croy, the Imperial and Republican government, and Railroad Corporation to fix this ASAP. The CGF has no choice but to comply. I get your logic, ma'am, I really do, but... I'm with a detective. If you don't get to the bottom of what happened here, it could happen again, right? I am aware, however, I can only permit the investigation to be carried out concurrently alongside the repairs, which will be until this evening at the very latest. This is how long we've been given. The heavy machinery requisitioned will be arriving soon. We need to... Hold on just a moment. The SSS? Woohoo! It's Lloyd and the gang! Ah, you guys came to scope out the scene too, huh? Please excuse us, Commander. Did we hear you correctly? You're gonna start cleaning up the accident before a proper investigation can be made? You're still a member of the CGF, Seeker. I trust you haven't forgotten how vital this rail line is to crossbow words. I didn't want to put this so bluntly, but if we delay repairing the railroad, it'll give the Empire and Republic all the excuse they need to intervene. I know that, but it's far from an unlikely scenario, unfortunately. Not much I can do to protest against an argument like that. Give me a break. We still have a duty to get to the bottom of this mess. Commander Bales, give us just 30 minutes. No, until that equipment arrives, we'll get this all sorted out. You? Yeah, given Crossbow's current political climate, I'm not ready to chalk this accident up as just an unfortunate coincidence. Don't you think we should at least determine whether there was any foul play involved? It's also possible that this accident is relevant to our cryptid investigation. Look at it this way, you let us do our thing and everyone walks away with some peace of mind. I never thought I'd see the day that I would be the impatient one between the two of us, Orlando. Very well, Inspector Donovan, we will start by prioritizing the investigation of the accident scene. Once the equipment arrives, however, our focus will shift to fixing the rails. You won't hear any complaints from us. Let's do this. And we'll just stay out of your hair while we collect our material. I have no objections. You're free to look around until the formal repairs begin. On the condition that you in no way interfere with the investigation of the site. Am I clear? Crystal. Would you mind if we got first-hand look at the scene as well, Inspector? Don't even need to ask. We'll tackle it together. You should speak with the conductor. He's resting over there. He'll be your best bet, more likely than not. Unfortunately, the engineer got nicked up in the crash and was taken to the hospital. Understood. Alright, let's get investigating. Classic. Investigate things around the scene. This would be the locomotive, the most essential car of the train. Without one, it would be unable to move at all. Inside is the engineer's cabin, the orbital engine produced by the Reinford Company. It's all very educational and all, but doesn't something about this seem off to you? I was just thinking the same thing. There's not nearly as much damage on it as I would have pictured. You're right, it's a little unnatural considering it's the frontmost car. Think about it. Had it collided with something head-on, it wouldn't still be this pristine. Whatever caused the derailment must have hit from somewhere else. What do you suppose happened here? We were thinking a rock might have rolled down the nearby cliff and derailed the train. Maybe this is where it made the impact? The possibility is there, given the spherical dent on the side. I don't know about that. How do you explain these giant scratches here in the center, then? When you think about it, the position's a lot farther up than you'd expect, too. I don't think a simple fallen rock would have left marks like this. Like these. If that's the case, then just what did collide with the train? Conductor. This is Donovan. I will hear what he has to say. Roger. Couldn't get too close if I were you. Told him it's balanced for now. We investigated each individual car as much as we could, just be thorough. Unfortunately, it didn't turn up anything. No clues to be had. You're sure? Not one thing suspicious on the train that large? Not really. It's just the passenger's luggage in there now, and nothing seemed off about any of it. All signs are pointing to the derailment being caused by some external force. Yeah, I guess so. There's so much glass and debris to clear out, we can't even risk one pebble staying on the railway, so we gotta be thorough and clean all this up. You a conductor? Yeah, you're a conductor. Oh, what a day. I should be thanking the goddess I'm okay, at least compared to the poor people who got carted away by those ambulances. I've never seen a train fly off the track so violently before. You're the conductor, correct? If you wouldn't mind, could you give us your account of what happened at the time of the derailment? Sure, if that's what you want. I'll do my best to tell you how it happened. The detective over there asked me earlier, but I think I was still too shaken to give a halfway decent statement. It all happened so suddenly, you know, I couldn't help but being a little out of it. That's perfectly understandable. With how severe the accident was, we can't expect you to recall every little thing. Any normal person would be in shock after going through something like that. Exactly. As things stand, even the tiniest detail could have proven helpful. Do you remember seeing or hearing anything suspicious? Anything at all? Suspicious? Well... Oh, now that you mention it, yeah, maybe. Something sprang to mind. It was right before the derailment happened, while I was on the comms with the engineer. He just started yelling out of nowhere. I remember him shouting, "What is that?" or something along those lines. The accident happened moments later. The front car derailed and the rest of them followed, one after another. And, well, you know how the story goes from there. Now I'm out here talking to you. Evidently, the engineer was caught by surprise. From the sound of it, he must have seen something he couldn't believe. Which leaves us with one question. What was it he spotted? Can't believe the train ended up blocking both sides of the track at once. I can only imagine how terrified the passengers must have been. Look at the marks on the cliffside, they're enormous. It's like the whole surface has been carved into. Parts of the ground have been gouged out too. The train must have derailed toward the left-hand side. A question, why do you suppose these streaks in the wall are so blue? I believe those would be flecks of paint. That's gotta be it. You could tell it's the same color as the train cars themselves. After the train derailment, it must have scraped against the rock for a ways, leaving those blue skid marks. No doubt, but look how far along they've run. How would the train even stay against the wall for that long? Looks like we might even need to rethink the actual circumstances that led to these marks.
Yes.
Okay, I think we gathered as much intel as we can here. We have? Already? Enough for Lloyd, anyway. Yeah, it better be enough for him, because I'm sure as hell haven't connected any of the dots. I may have put a thing or two together on my end. What's our next step? Should we review the information we have thus far? Yeah, let's do that. We should call over the commander and Inspector Donovan too. So, has your investigation yielded anything insightful? That's the hope. First, someone to address the possibility of derailment being caused by a fallen rock on the tracks. From our investigation, I believe it's safe to rule out that possibility. Really? Why? I take it you have some line of reasoning to back that claim up? Naturally, you see... What rules out the possibility of a fallen rock? Engineers cry heard. Engineers cry heard by the conductor. Dent on the right side. Probably the less damage in the front because the front is barely touched. We found more than a few areas of suspicion during our investigation, but the decisive factor was how pristine the front of the locomotive still was. Could you explain further? It's true that there's less damage at the front, but what does that prove? Oh hey, a diagram. Logically, if the derailment were caused by a fallen rock landing on the tracks, the train would have collided with it head-on. For the mass of a high-speed train to lose balance and derail, the impact would have to be substantial. If that had really happened, then the evidence of it would be more apparent. Oh, I think I get it. When all said and done, the front of the first car is hardly dinged up at all. That rules out the initial and most obvious explanation. Indeed it does. That's a fact we can't afford to overlook. In that case, what do you suspect is the true cause of the derailment? At first I had to consider whether this was a possibility. This was possibly the work of some other explosive. Explosive? You're saying this could have been a Jaeger operation? Or worse, a terrorist group? I'll admit, my mind wandered there pretty quickly too. That's why I kept my eyes peeled, but as far as I can tell, there weren't any traces of explosives. I would hope not. We'd already accounted for that, and we didn't find anything of the sort either. So after ruling that out, there's only one other possibility left remaining. It was indeed a collision, but not from the front. Whatever it was, rammed itself into the train from the right-hand side. Excuse me? Rammed? What, like on purpose? That's insane! This is starting to sound less like a train derailment and more like a car chase. Now I understand. That will explain the dent on the right side of the locomotive. Yeah, here's the way I think it went. First, our unknown culprit landed right next to the train as it barreled down the track at full speed. That was likely the moment the conductor heard the engineer yelling on the comms. After that, the assailant began to run alongside the train before ramming it from the right, causing the dent. The force led the leading locomotive to derail toward the left-hand side. Our assailant didn't stop at that and continued to push the locomotive into the cliff on the far end. From there, the train eventually skittled to a stop, leaving marks on the rocks along the way. As for the cars following behind, they ended up scattering off the rails in every direction. That's my working hypothesis, given what we know right now. Well done. You really are Guy's little brother, you know. Hell, your sleuthing skills may even be better than his. No kidding. Guy's style of investigating was less thorough and more instinctive. Hey, watch it, he's ours. And we're proud to have him. Kudos, oh wise leader. Even I couldn't think that far ahead. Very impressive. It does leave one question, Detective Bannings. The identity of this unknown culprit, you suspect this to be the work of some sort of monster? Or was this perhaps caused by another one of those recently spotted cryptids? I mean, it probably is gonna lead to a cryptid, let's be real. Well, when you look at the facts, can't say for sure. There's no question a cryptid would have the strength to derail a running train based on our experience. While I can understand why that would most likely be an explanation, I can't say for certain just yet. I agree. Cryptids have only spawned in the presence of the higher elements thus far, and I sense no sign of them. Not to mention we didn't see those blue plants anywhere nearby either. Yes, I'm inclined to agree. However, this only further raises the question of just what it is we're dealing with. Oh yeah, that mech we fought in Ravashinko's base. The Society's archaisms are a possible candidate too, though I'm not sure how likely that is. Are they really the type to resort to such a drastic and blatant attack? What was that? It sounded like a monster. It's no ordinary one either, judging by that blood-curdling cry. Let me scan the area. Probably a cryptid. Where is it? Where? Reigns, get the photo quartz ready. We're getting a shot one way or another. You can't be serious, Grace. Distance, 10 Selja moving. It's escaping to the west. Let's chase after it. Roger Wilco. Affirmative. What, you out of your minds? The CGF will back you up. No, you should keep working on the cleanup efforts. You have a schedule to keep. We'll go and give chase, if you're certain. I'm not entirely comfortable with it, but we have no other choice. Someone has to be here when the heavy machinery arrives. Stay in contact. If anything happens, we'll come to your aid. Understood, ma'am. Why is Wazi being silent? Are they gonna finally give us more on Wazi? You wouldn't happen to be planning to come along with us, would you? Well, can't deny I was considering it. I get it. The situation seems stickier than usual, so I'll hang back this time. For now, we'll head back to Crossbow City and draft up a break-in report. As soon as we get the rest of our people together, we'll return to gathering some more material. That should be safe enough. Besides, if you guys followed us and got attacked, you might never get a chance to make that report. You could say that again. I don't know what this thing you're chasing is, but it's gotta be nasty if it calls the whole derailment. You better be careful and come back in one piece. I won't be able to get an interview out of you otherwise. We will. Thanks, Grace. Alright, let's start our pursuit. First, we'll need to head west on the highway. Claro. Let's go bag us a monster. What does Claro mean, Clado? Is it Glado, like, in Spanish? It means of course in Spanish. Is that what Wazi was saying? Was he saying of course in Spanish? Alright. Let us move onward. I need to go this way. Oh, this is the derailment. I don't go this way. I go to, just keep going this way and they'll probably tell me. Okay, so they want me to go this way because they're not letting me go back. They want me to just go west. Wazi's our local multilingual, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. At first, I saw that word and I was like, what is this word? But then I just remembered what of course in Spanish was. And that was of course in Spanish. I forgot that was the word. I love this music that plays. There it is again. It's coming from the west. Don't gotta have Teotat's level of perception to tell that much words. It almost feels as though we're being beckoned like when we first met Zeit. I concur. However, unlike then, I'm sensing a hostile intent. Either we're dealing with a monster of considerable intelligence or something else entirely. Regardless, we need to be careful. Let's move on. The police academy, maybe? Oh, they're gonna tell me right now? What was that? Sounded like something shattered or shattering. Wasn't an explosion either. Came from the south. Hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry. That's towards the Nox Forest. My controller is having drift. Please don't. Just look at this. This gate is supposed to be made of some kind of reinforced alloy too. I almost said alloy. Aloy is the Forbidden West character. Zero Dawn Forbidden West character. But it's pronounced alloy. Unbelievable. There's no way this was done by some ordinary monster. What, was derailing a moving train not enough? What the hell are we going up against here? Well, no time to sleep on it. We better continue the pursuit before it gets away from us. If it makes to the deepest part of the forest, we're gonna have trouble keeping up. Yeah, good point. Why is Wazi acting so strange? He's probably gonna get his, like, time to shine here. Or in this chapter, at least.